Welcome to Season 2 of BioTech Talk, your one-stop show for all the tidbits from the biomedical and life sciences community. And today we have a very visionary leader with us who I've been chasing and finally nailed him down to come here to our little studio and have great conversations with us. Welcome, Dr. Mazin.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes.
Dr. Mazin Gadir, I'm so very honored to have you here. I think I'm a bit nervous as well.
Sure.
Are you excited to be here?
Absolutely. Thank you so much to Leader Group and for you, Malo, if I can call you Malo.
Yes.
I love your name, Malavika.
Yeah.
And thanks to Rahaf for also
Yes.
introducing us.
Yes.
But I'm very excited, and it's good to get some time on the ground because I was between two flights. So
Oh my God.
I arrived last night and I moved tomorrow. So
Very global person
Not at all.
Dr. Mazin
Not
is
at all.
actually, and we had to really find. I'm really grateful that you found the time in your busy schedule to be here. So just to give a little bit of background about Dr. Mazin, he is actually a quantum physicist, which I just learned very recently, and that itself has put me in a little bit of nerve spot. Okay, let me not speak anything stupid in front of him. But I think one of his core areas that we are going to explore today is his 25 years of experience in digital health and the futuristic healthcare, that vision that he wants to bring to GCC and everything. And I think that's a great place to start with you. And I feel like you have the vision to have this conversation, and this conversation has been happening in the region for a long time. So I think when we did the season 1, we had a lot of conversation on different healthcare aspects. But every conversation ended with AI. And
Wow.
that's why we wanted to get season 2 out with more deep diving as to what exactly is happening with AI in the GCC region, especially, and with the range of investment on a national and strategic level, especially in UAE and Saudi. And I'm sure you work with a lot of those initiatives as well, and we want to explore that part of it. So I'm very excited to get into this conversation. In my research itself, I like right before our first discovery call itself, I was so fascinated with this topic, and I was like, this is something we need to talk about and get insights on.
absolutely.
Yeah. So so just for the benefit of the audience and benefit of you, I just want to give you an understanding of how we do it at BioTech Talk. So we have 10 minutes, only 10 minutes to talk about our topic, rebuilding the backbone of healthcare with AI. So you ready?
Yes, I
Yeah.
am.
Let's get to it. Okay, so let's scale out and let's start from the beginning of how is AI literally making or breaking the current rules in digital health, and how is it really doing that with healthcare?
Sure. So thank you so much again for the invitation. So if I start globally, AI is breaking the rules or vitalizing, re-evolutionizing healthcare from multiple aspects. Number one is the data aspect. So it's pointing us back again to the importance of data and the way we collect data, the way we store data, the way we standardize data in healthcare. And that is an important aspect that the AI revolution is bringing us back to. Another aspect also, I would say, the skills and the workforce competency, and how we need now to bring to our attention the need for the workforce of the future, skilling up, the continuous skilling up, the continuous competency development of our workforce to be relevant. And then the third part is the regulation and the clinical governance and like the operational governance as well. So how we are changing the way we govern healthcare with the use of AI. What are the policies that we need to kind of upgrade and update in order for us to stay in line with AI? Because AI is like a Pandora box.
Yeah.
It's opening up a lot. But I think these are the three areas that I would say that would have been revolutionized and disrupted with the introduction or the intervention of AI into healthcare. Governance and policies and regulation, workforce and competency development, and data management and data standardization. And then I think the rest of that also, or the on top of that, the way we look at the technology architecture within healthcare.
Yes, yes. It's a massive technology integration,
Sure.
right? Like you have the human element with the people that is actually working in it, and then you have the patients who is interacting with this.
Correct.
It's a huge landscape in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you think the workforce need to start their upskilling in an AI integrated system? Like it might be complicated to go from, let's say, like it's still you started with paper pen, which is still used, paper pen in data collection, and then you move to computerized systems. So where is this upskilling that is needed, or how do we go about that?
Sure, absolutely. If you look at the World Economic Forum, specifically the latest publication in terms of the workforce and competency report that came out, talking about the most important skills that needs to be focused on. And I remember critical thinking and obviously strategic analysis.
Of course.
I believe there are a requirement for technical skills as well when it comes to the idea of dealing with data. You know, there's now the rise of data architects, enterprise architects, data analysts, data quality experts. These skill set, technical skill set, are also rising because of the intervention and the overutilization of AI into the current operational processes within healthcare as well as clinical processes.
Got it.
So if you look at the technical part, yes, there is a huge requirement for data analysis, statistical analysis capabilities, a lot of algorithm programming and coding that could actually be also looked at as important skills, but also the non-technical, which is, I think, much more vital and important, especially in the clinical world. Anything from critical thinking to strategic planning and strategic analysis is very important, because translating the data with the use of AI algorithm into meaningful reports, meaningful alerts, meaningful processes, and incorporating that into the regulatory and policy framework, or even looking at how do you operationalize such AI vehicle to actually translate it into patient outcome, into clinical excellence. Now that you know, in healthcare now we are running through many, many challenges, the burnout of the workforce.
Yes.
We're looking at the over utilization of clinical orders, the over utilization of clinical procedures, the shift into value-based care. There's a lot of transformation that healthcare is going through, and AI is only gonna facilitate and speed that. So definitely the requirement for our workforce, the skills, the non-technical is important, but also the technical part
is very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it needs to be integrated in the medical education itself when they go through it.
And that's a key word, the concept of integration. Integration itself, there comes the technical skill for integration, because the AI and the data needs to ensure the integrated environment of the technical applications and the technical systems within your healthcare ecosystem. But then you also need to think about the integration of the workforce from the perspective of different competencies and different skills. Now we see the concepts of the care coordination model, right, where nurses, doctors, pharmacists, medical technicians, lab technicians are working together in an agile and integrated model to provide integrated services to the patient for a better outcome.
Yes.
And now we are also integrating the patient and the family ecosystem into the healthcare ecosystem to try and understand behaviors of patients and families and try to better serve the customers and our clients in healthcare. So the word integration also is another important word that is rising in healthcare with a lot of skill set as AI is being more and more utilized.
Yes, and we kind of cut out the mundane activities and give more importance to the critical executions of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's a great way to move forward for sure.
Absolutely.
So when we go so much into the technicalities of it, and the when the technology development comes in, we've really noticed that there is always a question of ethics and emotional intelligence, right? How would AI kind of get in there with that? Because human emotional intelligence or dealing with a patient or dealing with certain outcomes is completely different. And do you think AI can really supplement that or complement that in any ways?
So I mean, again, the concept of AI ethics or ethics in AI is not foreign to the clinical and the medical world, because the clinical medical world is an economy or an industry that is based on ethics, based on the medical oath that every healthcare worker have to swear.
Yes.
So ethics drives our industry through and through. The concept of bringing AI and building an ethical AI environment or a responsible AI ecosystem is definitely relevant to the healthcare industry. I believe, yes, there's a lot of discussions, a lot of debates now on how do you bring AI ethics and marry that within the clinical governance and healthcare ethics model by looking at, for example, guarding the data that gets inputted into the AI models, by looking at how the AI models will interpret this data, because to avoid biasness or to avoid any ill interpretation, and by guarding the safety and the quality of the outcome of AI models before it gets inputted into the clinical process.
Got it.
And this is hugely important for healthcare. But you know what? It's not new. Aviation has already done that.
Wow.
If you look at the way the AI has been implemented into aviation, into autopilot mechanisms, specifically, in plane technology, this is what industries have been building their excellence on. So healthcare is only just a late comer. And believe me, I think now there's a lot of debate on how do you actually build standards, standard rules and standard policies to impose AI ethics in the services and the solutions that gets brought into healthcare, from the way we license AI-driven solutions from Emirates Drug Establishment or Saudi FDA or US FDA, right? So from a regulatory perspective, how do you impose AI ethics and you are able to license AI solutions into healthcare, whether it's for diabetic screening purposes or oncology screening. And you see radiology is another area in healthcare that is imaging is picking up AI quite heavily.
Yes.
So you see the ancillary services and the supporting medical services like laboratory, radiology, pharmacy are too eager to adopt AI because you are developing more and more outcome-driven evidence that it's needed.
It's needed
in order for patient safety, for clinical excellence in governance, for quality assurance. So I believe there is a huge drive to bring in, starting with data protection and data governance from an ethical perspective and patient safety and confidentiality perspective. There is also the algorithm itself and the safety and ethics and responsible rules that needs to be guarding the use of solutions and development of these solutions. And then there's the third part, which is the incorporating that into your clinical processes and your outcome-driven healthcare operations. You need to also make sure that the clinical governance expands to adopt AI ethics and AI responsible governance.
Got it.
Does that help?
Yeah, of course. So human intervention is going to be mostly in guarding these functionalities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and making sure that the checks happen, and then we can take it forward, and the AI keeps learning, and then these activities can be scaled into massive population level.
Absolutely.
And move towards a predictive system than a preventive healthcare system.
Absolutely. And I think we can compare that to the health quality management universe in healthcare. You know, QMS, quality management systems, have been used in healthcare quite often. It's not just the platform, the technology, it's also the processes where clinical committees get together to study near misses. We're going to develop or development of similar behavior and similar processes will also be paramount when we bring in AI solutions into it, where you have to build your AI governance into your enterprise, into your healthcare facility. You might have a CAIO or a director of AI. You might have a clinical AI committee that would actually look at the behavior and the response time and the outcome of certain AI solutions that were developed and discuss it like discussing quality issues, near misses, patient safety, or discussing, for example, infection control issues.
Yes.
Because your healthcare facility goes through definitely checks and balances for infection control, for patient safety and near misses, and it's only logical that you will do the same when you actually incorporate AI solutions.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, makes sense.
So
Completely makes sense. Now I see the 25 years of experience. I'm so glad to have this conversation with you, honestly. I think now, like we've spoken so much about data being a very central pillar to AI, right? So we've already seen so much of globalization that has kind of integrated data from different parts of the world into even in healthcare. There are doctors that have conversations together through telecommunications and for operations and everything. So how would AI kind of scale that part, like a data without border part? How will it scale that?
So maybe I will also relate it to part of the question that you have mentioned earlier, which is emotional intelligence. So data without border is a concept that has been brought to the surface quite a lot in the last 5 years, especially COVID. COVID instigated or initiated the importance of breaking borders, breaking barriers from data being seamlessly moved.
Yes.
And this is key. When healthcare becomes a matter of national security, people start reducing the over-regulation needs and the over silo or the over restriction that they've put to silo data. And COVID has helped us quite a lot.
Yes.
Breaking the data out of the borders, out of the silos, is the key to safeguard your health system in any nation, knowing the fact that your health system is your a matter of national security.
Got it.
So based on this, at the moment, there's a lot of discussion in the UAE and Saudi because of the concepts of open data platforms, and regulators from the Ministry of Health of Saudi to all the 3 regulators we have in the UAE, DOH, DHA, and MOHAP, definitely have matured up in building repositories and data lakes to open those and to articulate and standardize the data and open it up for research, for statistics and whatnot. And post-COVID, now the need is to actually allow data sharing because of either tackling communicable diseases, and this has become a contingency plan for the way we manage our community communicative diseases. This is very important to track and trace infection.
Yes.
Or
finding
spread
the
of
patient zero.
Exactly, infection and looking at movement of diseases. Number one. Number two, the movement of chronic disease patients and high critical patient, and the data sharing has become a paramount requirement now when people are actually moving between geographies. And obviously, this current situation, due to the geopolitical situation, there's huge movement of mass people that also require that data to move around with them for better care, for better track and trace and whatnot. So based on that, the AI is pushing the concepts of breaking data silos and allow more data capturing, more movement of data to give better algorithm or models of AI that could actually give you better accuracy in your outcome, better, more relevant output to the patient care throughout. And this also a requirement now because our workforce is battered with so much responsibility. One of the biggest issues is burnout. When you mentioned earlier emotional intelligence, the physicians, the doctors, the nurses, the clinicians, the workforce of healthcare is requiring now more tools and more technologies and more data to allow them to reach decision making faster, to lower the burnout, to have more time with the patient, to get more face time. And hence AI models have become so popular. Text to voice to text AI models, where people now use dictaphone to feed in the data, and allow AI to do the modeling of data and structuring of the data and standardizing of the data to allow more time between healthcare workers and the main client that they need to look after, the patient and their family. So, and this pushed more data out of silos, more data to be shared. Also the access to data. One of the biggest challenges we have is as two economies of healthcare in Saudi and UAE growing into a deeper health system with research, with infrastructure for drug discovery and production and manufacturing in healthcare. Now more data is required for oncology research, for cardiovascular research. And sometimes the data maturity that we have here is not yet to that standard. So also do your benchmark with data that you can bring in from the west or from the east, especially when you're doing research for particular cases of oncology or cardiovascular. The requirement for tracking communicative diseases and being able to bring data sets from other countries prior to the spread of diseases in your own country to try and start tackling your contingency. Not only that, non-communicable diseases, the likes of chronic diseases, when the patient are moving from one country to another, the concepts of medical tourism are breaking the barriers and allowing more AI algorithm to pull data to give better decision-making capabilities, to give the customer, the clients who are becoming more autonomous in and independent in their decision-making, where they should get their care, how they should own their data. AI is enabling our main customers to take data into their hand and own the data that they should own, because we are just custodians. We don't have no rights over this data. It's their data. The patient owns the data. So liberalization of data is the main drive, or the main driver of liberalization of data is AI.
Wow. I never thought of it that way. I mean, all the conversations regarding data, like that was going to be my final question. It has been data is getting shared everywhere. There is no privacy. Everyone is owning the data. But I've never thought, like, I think there has not been a regular conversation where that data sharing could also liberate the audience or the patients to make better decisions.
Absolutely.
Informed decisions about their own prognosis and diagnosis. So, do you think that data sharing should be encouraged from the patients?
With caveats. You have to put controls, because we've heard about data breaches and cyber attacks in our geography. And they've been drastic. They've been absolutely catastrophic. So the more we use AI, the more we have to break data out of silos. But the more you break data out of silos, the more you put yourself at risk. So the concept of cybersecurity becomes an important aspect. And in cybersecurity stats, healthcare is #1 industry that is completely catastrophically attacked. And yet, if you go to your hospital, your clinic, and look at their data privacy, confidentiality policies, or you look at the measures they've put for cybersecurity, it's still substandard.
It's very nascent.
And that's the problem. So the more you want to serve your patients better, the more data you want. The more data you want something to help you decipher the data, hence you want AI models to do that. But the more you unlock data and the more AI models that you use to help you in decision making, the more you make yourself vulnerable for attacks. Because healthcare data is so valuable in the black market, valuable in the dark web. How do you actually measure your cybersecurity defenses? How do you prepare yourself as you unlock data cross boundaries, cross borders? How can you lock yourself and make sure that you protect this data? Don't forget, we also have a blessing from COVID. Healthcare is a matter of national security. Meaning, if healthcare is a national security, regulators are imposing cybersecurity checks and controls and audits. And meaning, hospitals are not, by regulators, hospitals, clinics, pharmaceutical companies, laboratory device companies are also kept in check when they handle data, whether it's patient data and identifiable data or anonymized data. And again, going back to the point, opening more data out of silos or liberation of data out of silos can open up the different facilities for the risk of cyber attacks. That's what they call it, democratization of data. Again, when you talk about data being liberated and data available for utilization, we need to also make sure that the risks are mitigated.
So I think the primary objective when a healthcare system or a national healthcare system is looking to revolutionize with AI should be investing as much into a cybersecurity system or protecting the data of the people.
Absolutely. And don't forget, COVID showed us that healthcare is not a cost. Healthcare is an investment. So healthcare is an investment. Anything that is related to healthcare, data, processes, products, services, this is also an investment. And when you talk about data, whatever measures you put and invest in to protect the data based on the patient confidentiality. We have the healthcare ICT data law in UAE. We have Saudi healthcare data laws as well. Regulators are looking at this because the risk of losing this data and being hacked or being attacked or being put as ransom. And by the way, a lot of ransom attacks recently has affected major hospitals in the region. It's much costlier and it's going to be more devastating than whatever you will invest
into setting up that infrastructure.
So you cannot talk about AI without talking about data. You cannot talk about data without talking about cybersecurity and risk mitigation. And you cannot talk about cybersecurity and risk mitigation and data and AI without making sure your workforce is also competent enough to deal with the data, and they are also very well aware of the data protection measures and the cybersecurity defenses at every individual. It all starts with you and me. It doesn't. You don't need a manual to explain that data protection is as important as keeping your patients safe and healthy.
Yes. What an insightful conversation. I mean, I'm riveted. I'm like more energized now. But unfortunately, we have to close this set somewhere. But I think it was very important to have this conversation as well, because everyone is jumping on the AI bandwagon, and I think it's important to consider these factors that you said, the cycle that you said. If you're going to talk about AI, then you have to talk about data, then you have to talk about cybersecurity, then you have to talk about healthcare regulations that comes with it. So I think that's been very insightful for our audience.
Absolutely. And you cannot think of AI as a new gadget or a product or a service. It's a change of behavior. It's a culture within your organization, whether you're looking at it from a pharma life sciences, medical devices world, or from a healthcare service provision world, or from a healthcare insurance world. AI is a change of way of working. It could you're adding new positions into your governance, into your structure. You're adding new policies. You're actually buying certain technologies to pull more data to build your data hub. That means that you're looking at your data, the quality of the data, and the relevance of the data to your clinical processes and policies. You're looking at the competency of your workforce that you're trying to enable and encourage and upgrade in order for you to actually better your service based on the data that you are using AI to analyze.
Yeah.
It's a whole ecosystem. AI is not a latest product or a latest service. It's a change of way of working. It's adopting new ways of working. It's adopting new behaviors and opening your mind for new concepts to allow you to put your investment in the right place to better serve your patients. That's all.
I like how you said AI it's not a gadget, it's a culture.
It's a culture.
It's a culture and ecosystem, and I think that's a good point for us to stop. And thank you so much, Dr. Mazin, for being here, and I really, truly appreciate this conversation.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
This is Biotech Talk, powered by Leader Life Sciences. Malavika Kanara, signing off.